Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. Again, with this meeting, like all the other meetings, let's refrain from using the chat for any side comments, rather keeping it for appreciation, gratitude, pieces for speeches, performances, pieces of accountability and gratitude. Thank you so much for being respectful through the chat. I think these all-school meetings have been super awesome and meaningful and a pleasure to host. So to kick us off this morning, I'd like to welcome A.O. Forbes and Vince Kunowitz.
Does this work?
Yes.
Hello. I'm just a poor boy, though my story is seldom told. I've squandered my resistance for a pocket full of humble, such are promises. All lies and jest, still a man hears what he wants to hear and disregards the rest. When I left my home and family, I was no more than a boy in the company of strangers, in the quiet of the railway station, running scared, laying low, seeking out the poorer quarters where the ragged people go, looking for the places only they would know. Lie, la, lie. Lie, la, la, lie, la, lie, lie, lie. Lie, la, 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 lie, la, lie, la, 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 lie. Asking only workman's wages, I come looking for a job, but I get no offers. Just to come on from the whores on 7th Avenue. I do declare there were times when I was so lonesome I took some comfort there. La 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 la. Now the years are rolling by me, they are rocking evenly. I am older than I once was, and younger than I'll be, that's not unusual. It isn't strange, after changes upon changes, we are more or less the same. After changes, we are more or less the same. Lie, la, lie. Lie, la, 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 lie, la, lie, lie, la, lie. Lie, la, 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 lie, la, lie, la, 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 lie. Lie, la, 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 lie, la, lie, lie, la, lie. Lie, la, 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 lie, la, lie, la, la, la. Now I'm laying out my winter clothes and wishing I was gone, going home, where the New York City winters are leading me going home. In the clearing stands a boxer, and the fighter buys trade, and he carries the reminders of every glove that laid him down or cut him till he cries out in his anger and his shame, I am leaving, but the fighter still remains. Lie, la, lie.
Oh, I'm also introducing the first senior speech today. Does my audio work? In AO's class, we often talk about justice and the perspective you need to see what is just and to be just, and to find the courage to show compassion for others. If I have inferred correctly, the next speaker seems to have a lot of devotion directed towards those ideas that AO talks about. In her love for life and her love for others, perhaps motivated by that quest to make the world a little more just, she expresses kindness and generosity that offers the world some compassion that it desperately needs. So, to help bring it home with our penultimate senior speech, everybody please welcome Sage Williams.
Thank you, Vince. I hope everybody is doing well and staying safe. Can everybody hear me? Okay. Since I was a young girl, I've had this constant need to be in control of my own life. This need came mainly from my fear of the unknown. The idea of living without knowing exactly what I would be doing tomorrow freaked me out, so I strived to eliminate as many encounters with change as I could. I set out to make my life one that I was completely in control of. This manifested itself into me creating my own babysitting business in 7th grade because I didn't trust my mom to buy me cute enough clothes. I needed to be in control of that. I also would bike to school every day so I could ensure I was always there on time. My younger brother could never make me late. I have carried my need to constantly be in control my whole life. This is something I've always struggled with, but I've become more and more comfortable with the unknown as I've grown older. This is partly because of my journey here at CRMS. As students here, we learn to roll with the punches and to adapt to new changes every day. When I first arrived here, I struggled with this greatly. Setting out on wilderness with a group of completely new people to a completely new place was something that could not be more out of my control. And I dreaded this experience greatly. However, as soon as the trip departed, I felt myself begin to let go of my need for control and to try my best to embrace every unknown I would experience. I've encountered countless experiences here with the unknown, and as much as I despised it in the moment, I recognize now that when life isn't totally in my control, this is when I grow the most. Life really isn't in any of our control. I wrote this speech before the coronavirus outbreak, but I feel like it is applicable today more than ever. Things happen every day to all of us that are totally unexpected and that there is absolutely no way to prepare for. But I have learned to be okay with this unknown. And I think there's a certain point where we all need to be okay with living with this mystery. And personally, I strive to truly live in the moment and to stop worrying so much about how exactly my future will pan out. There is only so much I can truly be in control over. Looking ahead to college, this is the biggest unknown I will encounter yet. I will completely step into a realm of nothing that is familiar to me, and I am okay with that. Reflecting on my journey and realizing that I'm not afraid truly shows how much I've changed. Sure, I'm nervous. I won't love my classes or totally get along with my roommate, but I no longer feel that intense fear and the need to know the outcome right away. My dad told me a quote recently that has really stuck with me and I believe ties into my journey. Everyone wants growth and nobody wants change, but you can't have one without the other. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Sage. That was very eloquently put. And similar to you, I've had some issues in the past couple of days of worrying about things that I have no over. It's brought me stress, immense anxiety, and I'm sure that many of you feel the exact way in the situation right now. And the only way that I found to with this sort of irrational anxiety, or it is rational, is like you said, try to find a place to live in the present, to be outside, enjoying life, enjoying the sun, enjoying a good book, whatever you can do, music. So frame this accountability gratitude section around ways that people are managing to live in the present, living meaningfully and happily, and talking to what you are thankful for, people who are helping you remain in the present and remain being accountable for what you're doing every day. Just like last meeting, if you'd like to speak to any of these things, please send me a message and I'll unmute you. Thank you.
Yeah, I just asked about it. So I would like to thank so many people, but I'm just going to start with the community in general and student body. You guys are amazing, and knowing that this is our last all school is really weird because it doesn't feel like it. And yeah, I want to thank you all for, oh God, everything you did. I love all of you. And I want to thank the faculty, especially all my teachers. You guys are amazing. Everything you did for us, especially during the Zoom-ness time, is awesome. So thank you.
May I jump in? Good morning, everybody. I would like to follow up with Nicole and thank the seniors in music for their resilience and their dedication to presenting a great performance. So Thursday afternoon at 2 o'clock, the seniors in music have all made videos of songs that they've written for the most part. And we're going to take a good look at that. I think it's really inspiring for me, and the resilience and everything is just awesome. So congratulations, seniors. We're going to miss you all a bunch. You're just a wonderful class.
Can I jump in? Good morning, everybody. Ditto to good luck to seniors moving forward. Really looking forward to Thursday and seeing the recital. I wanted to give a shout out, a huge actual heartfelt thank you to Pac. His last day is going to be on Thursday. And he's just been wonderful, really given to this community and to you all, and had a wonderful year, you know, being part of the bike program and snowboarding and the climb team. And I know he's just really loved being here. He's moving on to start a graduate program at the University of Arizona in Tucson. And so I'm sure he would love to hear from you guys. If you want to, you know, shoot him a shout out, a thank you. I'm sure he would love it. So anyway, thank you to Pac for an awesome year.
So I would like to thank all the faculty and staff as well. But I think just because PAC will be out soon, I'd like to thank PAC because, is at the window. Because as an Asian man myself, seeing an Asian teaching fellow at CRMS, that was like, you know, it was like Obama getting elected president. It was like, thank you, PAC, for being, and you know, we made it. We made it at CRMS, an Asian teaching fellow.
We still have another 5 or so minutes left of this accountability and gratitude section if anyone else would like to join in.
I would like to thank Diane, Mark, Jim, Katie, and Christy for a great year of HHJ and everybody else who went to their household jobs and made it fun for us to present in front of you guys and to cheer you guys on with household jobs. So thank you guys for that. And then I'd also like to thank my advisory. I was unsure when I first came to CRMS if I was really going to enjoy my advisory. And I love you guys so much. You guys have really made CRMS a great experience. So thank you so much.
Right back at you, Lexi. Lexi and Christy have done an amazing job this year with household jobs, and just their leadership behind that program this year. Right, they were just, just charging along, and I love how just fun and just how much they wrap their arms around that program and kind of kept stuff in front of you guys and helping you guys remain sort of psyched and doing your part and all of that. And they just really raised the bar for that whole program, and I loved it. I loved your guys' approach. Thank you for an awesome year.
Um, Hi guys. Uh, so, uh, this is bringing down the mood a lot, but it's an accountability thing. And, it's really, really overdue. And because it's somber, it's really out of place. I probably should have said this months ago, but I felt like I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I didn't say it. So in the past couple of months, I've found myself making easy jokes about the coronavirus, especially in relevance to the Asian individuals, or simply just making cheap jokes in general. And I must admit that in the beginning, in January, I actually got upset at quite a few of my friends for making these jokes, but then at some point, I decided that um, being able to get a cheap laugh from my friends was for some reason more important than being able to maintain my sense of self. And I'm pretty upset with myself right now for not trying to stop earlier. I mean, I tried to, I, yes, or at least for doing it, especially in the month of February. And I wasn't ever going to say it at all, but last week I was speaking to another student and they were upset talking about the many different times that they've just cried um, when spending time with their class because they would make racist jokes and everyone would laugh at it despite, I mean, not that this should even matter, but even if they weren't part of that race, it would still be the greatest joke ever, and everyone would laugh at it. And it was seen as the funniest thing in the moment. And I thought I got pretty upset, but I must also recognize that I have fallen prey to those easy jokes in the past. And because of that, I don't think I really have a right to be upset at those individuals. So right now I am here to hold myself accountable to not falling susceptible to these jokes. And I hopefully invite the rest of the community to, especially the student populace, to follow because resorting to these easy laughs is not the type of person that I want to be. Um, I can be smarter and better than that. And I do not want to fuel these racial stereotypes and bigotry that is already so present in our world today. I'm done.
Thank you so much for that, Eli. I think it's incredibly important, especially at this time, to bring up the ability to empathize with other people and their issues and not make light of it. Tess has an announcement that she'd like to be read. She says, I want to thank the entire community for an amazing 4 years at CRMS. I'll miss this place and these people, especially the faculty have worked so hard to make this experience worthwhile, especially during these times.
All
We
right.
can move over.
All right, it's time to move on into announcements. First up, we have the Oystermeister Committee. All right. Next up, we have Zach with Feedbacker. Let me unmute you real quick.
All right. Hello, lovely lads and lasses of the CRMS community. I know that you have been wondering, will Feedbacker return in the era of COVID-19? And by all of you, I mean the 8 people outside of me, Owen, and Heath who responded to the Feedbacker email I sent out last week. Thank you for those 8 of you who replied. But I have heard people voice interest in the return of Feedbacker. And so I'm a man of the people. And if the people want Feedbacker, well then what choice do I have but to give them Feedbacker? So Feedbacker is going to happen this weekend. We will send out more information later, such as what platform we'll be using, what we'll be listening to, when it will be, what time. But we are excited to announce that it will be happening, and we hope to see you there. We think it'll be a great way to stay connected and, you know, just kind of interact with each other from a distance. So thank you very much.
Next up, we have Diane.
Okay, again. Hey, I just wanted a quick reminder to folks that we're going to take the first steps towards Project Day this week. And so tomorrow during advisory is your time to hone in on your project. And you, during advisory, you will enter into our spreadsheet what your project is going to be. So be sure to be ready in the morning with your idea and kind of what it's going to take to do it. Once we have all of your projects in on Thursday, AO and I'll break you guys into smaller cohort groups, and you'll have a faculty facilitator that is part of your cohort group, and you will meet for the very first time on Friday after Oystermeister at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Your cohort group will get together as a Zoom and kind of start your planning and preparations for Project Day the following week. So psyched to start to see what all you guys are going to be diving into, and we'll do that tomorrow morning. Thanks.
The last announcement is me. Hi, guys. Some of you may know me and Charlie as the AV guys during, well, the old Real All School meetings. Hopefully you guys will get back to those next year, but unfortunately neither of us will be there. So if you're a freshman or sophomore and are interested in doing that, please contact Krimmer. Thank you.
I'd like to add one final announcement. Similar to what Nat is talking about, all school meetings need to be run, and unfortunately, Vince and I won't be around forever to run them. So the agenda president election is next Tuesday, all school meeting. The deadline to send me and Vince your speech and your intent to run for agenda president is 8 o'clock. I already have 2 groups running for president, and I think the more the better at the moment. Give everyone a wide variety of choices. So please, if you're intending to run, please email me or Vince with your speech by 8 p.m. Okay, our last senior speaker of the year. As I've been reminiscing on my closing chapter here at CRMS, I've been constantly reminded and come back to the philosophy of Jorge Ortega. Ortega believed that there is no such thing as a constructed human nature. Rather, people individually are formed by their past and their actions and what they care about. If CRMS exemplifies this model of living only through experiences, then one particular member of its community stands out to me. He will not allow himself to be defined by societal or musical norms, for he believes that only his passions should be allowed to shape his identity, a characteristic that I personally revere, and I hope everyone else does as well. The next speaker, final speaker, Jack Gotts again.
Thank you, Wyatt. I'm absolutely terrified right now. Just want to let everybody know that. All right. Hello. For those that don't know me personally, my name is Jack Gottsagen, and I'm a 2-year senior. And CRMS is the only place that I've ever felt like I fit in. I'm certainly not the most academically focused person. I could never live up to the level of achievement my peers could easily take without a second thought. Back east, it's pretty much either you're book smart or you play sports like hockey and lacrosse, soccer. I never fell into those categories. I was this twiggy kid that just kept to himself, I never spoke up in class. I didn't care that much about academics. I was just concerned with passing them. Every day I would just wander into my mind and just imagine myself doing anything but schoolwork. All this really starts in middle school. I was one of 3 new kids in a class that have known each other since kindergarten. The odds weren't in my favor. To add on, I didn't care much for sports. So that immediately made me lose connection with everyone else. Being hyperactive, I wasn't really that well liked. I was just seen as this annoyance in everyone's day. Everyone likes that big, tough kid that's cool, and I wasn't. I was going through the motions, getting B's, which I should have been proud of, but, I wasn't. I developed habits that continue to this day. Robin probably knows this as my elaborations on my FRQs. As I grew older, I didn't gain any more confidence in school or my abilities, even when I had to choose a high school to go to. My list was narrowed down to 4 schools. My top 2 were out of state. The last one was a far reach for me, and my third was Salisbury. And Salisbury was my safety school and where I lived for most of my life. Did I get into my top schools? No, I didn't. I did get into Salisbury though, so I could at least go to high school. And having grown up there, I had met a lot of nice people, people that I thought were really good examples. I thought a lot of people would be like that. But in the words of Tyler, the Creator, so that was a lie. At Salisbury, I grew depressed and resentful. I pretty much gave up a few times. I didn't have many friends again because at a preppy school, if you're the weird alternative kid, pretty much get made fun of and you're not well liked. I would retreat into isolation and develop even more toxic habits, such as just not doing my work and showing up late intentionally. At Salisbury, I was, not called Jack. I was called Gottsagen or freshman, and my mind just went down the path like, what the hell? Why am I being told that I can't do certain things? Because I'm a freshman. I'm older than my peers. Why am I the one getting picked on? It was hard. I saw myself go down the spiral. I didn't think of myself as going to college ever. I just thought of myself as a mistake. During my sophomore year, which was the dark cloud, a really big stormy cloud, my parents found a school I could go to in the middle of Colorado. I was shown the webpage. I scrolled around for a bit, went to study hall, and did no homework at all because I wanted to look at CRMS more. The longer I looked, the more I liked it. So I started the application process immediately. All last year, I was taken aback by how nice and amazing everyone was. I never felt judged for being that kid wearing my death metal shirts or given the stink eye for them. I was in shock when my peers would say hi to me, because that never happened. It took me a second, and it made my day to feel noticed. Being in the South Dorm, I met some of the most chaotic and funniest guys I'd ever been around. John doing flips, my roommate from Barcelona being very prone to nut injuries, giving BJ PTSD from stacking furniture, Southball, video games at 4 a.m., late night talks, and Ugandan accents and Borat impressions. I never felt closer to anyone in my life. For the first time in a very long time, I felt like I mattered in the world. All the trips I've done here, all the teams and work crews, the teachers being patient with me, and the 2 awesome, crazy, and chaotic dorms I've lived in have made me feel a greater sense of purpose than Salisbury ever could have, and it feels more like home. So here's the big takeaway from this speech. Life is going to throw a lot of curveballs at you in the form of awful people. They're going to come right after you, harass you, be a total dick just to tear you down. These are the people that aren't going to do anything good, and karma's going to come back and bite them in the ass hard. So in the words of ex-Escape the Fate and current Falling in Reverse frontman Ronnie Radke, so just hope for the best and just say fuck the rest. Thank you.
It was the president. I don't know if that should be a big takeaway from CRS.
I take a gap year. And then
fuck you.
pertaining to student life and athletics.
Y'all are being unmuted for the barrage.
Review those questions.
We can hear everything you're saying.
Is about athletics. I'm not at the level to and
Hi. Mayor's also here. Hey. Cool. We're social distancing. Don't worry. Cool. So I'd like to thank Lola again for giving the barrage. I'm so honored to receive the barrage and so thankful for everything she said. I swear I was on the YouTube. And I still hope that you're all training to J-Beebs because I know I am. All right. This week's barrage goes to a group of individuals that surprised me in more ways than I could count. I started backcountry skiing this year. Well, actually, I started skiing again this year, and I wouldn't have wanted to kick off my backcountry skiing with any other group. I was a bit anxious leading a trip in a sport I had just started. But the first day we all got out as a group, that anxiety was quickly squashed. As I watched everyone rip down McMillan and cheer each other on from the bottom, I knew this was going to be an awesome group. From supporting one another up long skins and skiing through trees and on top of ridges, hearing some stories I wish I could forget through the walls, melting so much snow we uncovered the snowmobile under it, saving lives in wilderness first aid and finding soul sisters and embracing what it means to be a leader. It was so amazing to watch this group come together over the 10 days we spent in the mountains. These teens reminded me of why I love leading trips in the mountains so much, and to take every opportunity to get after it. Whether that be hitting the jump outside the cabin, getting up before the others to take laps on McMillan's, a quick ski tour in between WUFA classes, or Alpenglow photo shoots, they brought the best components of the backcountry to this trip, that being laughs, embracing their most authentic selves, and owning the experience. I'm so thankful to have led this trip and to get to know all of you. And someday in the future, you can follow me on Instagram. This week's barrage goes to the students of the Outdoor Leadership Interim.